second showing tonight at 7 o'clock. Tickets are $7 each. Popcorn and drinks are $2 each. For $11, you're in with a popcorn and a drink. You can't get into the theater on the beach for that.
No.
And this one actually has a better projection and sound system than that one does. The theater runs the length of this building, so because of that, the screen is so large, it's actually shot of what today we call an IMAX screen. So it's this huge screen. 100 years. Passed away a few years ago, never left us. He is still with us inside. Now, Mr. Creep hated a cell phone. He thought they were the worst things to come along. And if he caught you with your phone out during the movie, he would take it from you. Oh, you didn't get it back. Your parents got it back when they picked you up. And he would say something like, here, he was being rude. Teach him better. Oh, yeah, he was serious. He hated a cell phone. Oh, yeah. I mean, I saw him do it. Now, Jason, the guy who runs the concession stand most nights, a few years ago, he said a girl came out of the theater with her phone in her hand like she was texting. He looked over and he said it looked like she had smacked the back of her hand because the phone went flying up in the air and crashing to the ground. Probably Mr. Creep. Before the pandemic, I could take groups in the lobby, and there's a sign that says no cell phones in the auditorium. Had a group take a picture next to it. We looked through the pictures. There's the sign, and there was the person upside down standing on the ceiling. I mean, we just watched her take it, so we knew it wasn't the truth. We've had similar photos taken here on the street in front of the box office. It's most likely Mr. Creep. He had a really good sense of humor, and he really liked to mess with people, so it's probably Mr. Creep. Now, a few years back, I had a couple of teenagers on the tour, and we were in the lobby, and they went in to use the restroom. First girl walked into the lobby, walked into the bathroom, and her friend just stood outside the door. When she went to come out, the door was locked from the inside. It's probably Mr. Creep's way of telling her to lock the bathroom door. So I've told this to another group. Lady goes in the bathroom. She comes out a few minutes later, and she looks at us and goes, which one of y'all was rattling the doorknob? I said, ma'am, I'm sorry, but seriously, all of us have been right here. Her friend looked at her and went, I don't have to go that bad. And refused to use the bathroom, the poor lady. Probably the biggest story for the Pioneer, though, is that of Brenda Holland. In 1967, Brenda was a makeup artist with the Lost Colony. In those days, the colonists, the actors, lived with people here in town. They didn't have their own place to live. Now, Brenda was loving life. She was young, she was single, she cut her hair, dyed it blonde, she had a boyfriend. I mean, life was awesome. Well, she had stayed over with her boyfriend one night and got up early in the morning, probably about 4 or 5 o'clock, to walk home. Unfortunately, that's the last time that Brenda was ever seen alive. She was found strangled to death 5 days later at the foot of the Old Man's Harbor Bridge. There were a couple of theories as to what happened. One being that there was a serial type killer in the area that summer and he had gotten her. Unfortunately, the more likely or plausible story is that she was murdered by a local dentist who was known for fits of alcoholic rage. And he had had a huge fight with his wife that night and she had run away. Well, unfortunately, Brenda and the dentist's wife were very similar looking. You know, they had the same sort of body type, same sort of hair. So we think that Brenda might have been killed by mistake, mistaken identity. But we may never know because all the accusations against the dentist were very quickly and quietly swept under the rug. Possibly because the dentist and the sheriff were best friends, but I will not speculate. The SBI has reopened Brenda's case. We've passed the 50th anniversary of her passing, and we're hoping that as people get older, that maybe they'll be more willing to talk, or they'll remember something. But until then, Brenda won't rest in peace, I guess. So the dentist even committed suicide just a couple years after the murder, so. And he left no type of confession or anything, so we don't know. Dare County Courthouse. Manteo was made the seat of government in 1879 and incorporated in 1899. The building behind me was built in 1904. It was used for both courthouse and jail until the end of last century. In the 80s, they built a new jail and they tore the jail off the back of this building. the little Swiss cheese courtyard is what we have nicknamed it. It's where the jail used to stand. And then in the 90s, they built a new court complex. So today, this building is home to the Dare County Arts Council. It is a gallery that is free and open to the public, and it is one of the things I recommend or suggest you do. We have a huge amount of talent that actually lives here. Now, this is one of the few buildings of this nature that's not on the National Registry of Historical Places, and they're trying to fix that. One of the first things they had to do was replace the bell tower. The original tower was damaged in a Category 4 storm in 1933. This is long before the storms were named Harvey, Katrina, or Andrew. It was just a storm. Little did they know when they went to replace the bell a few years back that the original bell from 1904 that had been damaged in 33 had been kept in the attic. So they refurbished it and they've put it back in use. So the original bell from 1904 is ringing out over Manteo once again. I don't think we're going to be here when it rings next, but we may still be within earshot, and if I hear it, I will stop and point it out to you because it's a really pretty bell. Now, with all of the court cases and all of the jail time in the building, we don't have any reports of hauntings. Who has the meter?
Vienna.
Okay, it likes to go off in this field for some reason.
It might go off here.
We don't know why. There it goes. Come on.
Don't be scared.
We don't know why the meter goes off in this field. We originally thought it might have something to do with the power between the two buildings.
Can't go over there.
But I have had a couple of people that were sensitive, psychic, whatever, say that
Come on, Vienna.
when they walked through here, they could see people in like period costumes sort of milling about, children playing or whatnot. So it's worth taking a couple of pictures. It will stop beeping just a few feet from the end of the field.
They're real. It's right here. It's fun looking for ghosts.
Look at the dock.
Yeah.
I've opened a monster.
Nope. You're like waving around. There's anything around. Ghosts are not hurting people.
Nope, they're not going to hurt you.
We're going to stop here for a few moments. Please feel free to have a seat. Plenty of seats at the table.
Vienna, sit on this side. Let somebody else sit over there, okay? What do you think? Cool. That is so cool.
There's real ghosts here.
There is, I know. See, and they're not scary. I just already told you.
So we figured this is I'm here until Thursday. Tip your waiter. So yeah, figured this is a good place to talk about our local pirate history and pirate lore. Now, most people are aware of sea pirates. What we actually dealt with around here were land pirates. And our pirates became so well known that one of our towns actually got its name from some of them.
I don't know pirates.
Yeah, listen.
On a dark or a stormy night, is they would climb Jockey's Ridge, the big sand. You've all seen the sand dune, right? They would climb the top of the dune and they would take with them an old nag, an old worn out horse, and a lantern, probably something like this, probably not battery operated. And they would take it and they would hang it over that horse's head. They would then very slowly walk back and forth across the top of the dune line. Well, ships out at sea would see that by swaying, and they would think it was a ship safely at anchor at harbor. So they turn their bows to the ship, to the shores, run up on the shoals, and become a shipwreck. The pirates were more than happy to scurry down the hill and go and plunder. Now, these pirates took no quarters, and what that means in pirates, it means it takes no prisoners. They murder everyone they come across, man, woman, and child. Yeah. Pirates were and still are today the original 13 houses. They're known as the unceded aristocracy. They're along the 12 to 13 mile marker. A lot of their original porches, their decking, were made from boards taken from these shipwrecks. And we think that may be why we have random ghost sightings right there along the ocean front, down the 12 to 13 mile mark. And this is completely random. We have never found a pattern, a rhyme, or a reason. They just sort of appear, they walk along for a little bit, and then we think they may be attached to those boards. They could be looking for the rest of their ship or the people they were traveling with. We don't know. But word of these pirates became so well known, the captains would talk amongst each other, and they would tell each other that whenever they came past our shores here, that they all had to beware of the Nag's Head. And that's actually how the town of Nag's Head got its name, was from pirates luring these poor unsuspecting ships to our shores. So yeah, if you have time, go climb the top of the dune and walk it like our pirates used to. Just remember, it's usually a lot hotter up there than it is down here. Keep that in mind. So while we dealt with our land pirates up here, about an hour's drive and a short ferry drive to our south is a small island called Ocracoke. So anyway, let's get back to Ocracoke. So yeah, Ocracoke is rich in pirate history. One of the most famous pirates of all time. We're not sure of the man's true name. He was either Edward Teach or Edward Thatcher, but he was better known to everybody as Blackbeard. Now, Blackbeard was a massive man. He stood 6'5" and weighed over 225 pounds. By today's standards, that's a big guy. In the early 1700s, that's a giant. The average man of that time stood about 5'6". So you look at 5'6" and 6'5", there's quite a bit of a difference there. Now, for all this ferocity and variety, we don't have a single report anywhere of Blackbeard himself killing a single person. Most of the people that he encountered very wisely threw their hands up in the air and said, "I surrender." So can you imagine this massive 6'5" guy, guns, swords everywhere, beard full of smoke and flame, cutlass drawn, coming up. "No, thank you, I surrender. I'm one of the smart ones. I want nothing to do with that." Wasn't that nice of them not roll their suitcases past me? So, they're definitely not the pirate type. You are right about that. Yeah, so I totally lost my place. I know I was talking about Blackbeard. Oh yes, not wanting anything to do with a man that looked like that coming after me.
It's fun.
Dominic, what do you have?
Me too. It's fun.
Yeah.
Make sure that let's make sure that Vienna's not a go. Dominic, I'm not a go.
Dominic.
I can't believe it. I just found her. Can I be good?
I don't think I'm a ghost ship. I think you're stuck with me for a little while longer.
Yay.
Watch your step, watch it. I know. Oh, look at that. It's so pretty. Well, it's a pirate ship.
Footsteps, and they've seen costuming move. Now, in years past, I was part of the cast of the Ghost of the Lost Colony ship. Sort of a pattern or a theme to my life, it seems. It's all good, it's fun. And one year, my scene was in the men's dressing room. So I'm in there making sure everything is all set, And as I'm getting ready to walk out the building, I hear in the hallway behind me. Now, I knew I was the only person in that building, but I had to turn around to look. Because, I mean, that's just what you do. So I turned around to look, and I was right. I was the only person in that building. So I just looked down the hallway and said, I've got a show tonight. I'll be back in a little bit. And I walked out. I think of a ghost sort of like a puppy. Play with me. They just want your attention. If you let them know that they're there, for the most part, they're happy. Probably one of the saddest stories, though, is from the 1990s. A family of 4 had come in one night to watch the show, and at intermission, their show got rained out and they had to leave. Tragically, the family was killed in a car accident that night on the Alligator River Bridge. Since then, on certain nights when the conditions are right, people in the house have noticed 4 people taking a seat in the upper left-hand side of the house after intermission. And when the show's over, they don't always get up to leave. Ushers have gone up to them and said, folks, the show's over. You can leave now. And when they turn around, they vanish. It's the family of 4. They have come back to see the second half of the show they didn't get to see when they were alive. Now, if you're not up for the grounds of the Lost Colony after dark, maybe after you leave me tonight, it's going to be a great night for it. But you know, for whatever reason, you're too tired, or hungry, or cold, or whatever. You know, I won't call you chicken. If you're not up for it at night, definitely come back during the day. The grounds are not to be missed. They're absolutely beautiful. I love how I feel when I'm on them. And during the day, you can go next door and visit the Elizabethan Gardens. Gorgeous gardens. Go hug the massive oak tree. She has amazing energy. So, yeah, I'm a card-carrying tree hugger. Are there any questions, colonists? So I don't think anybody has released a Kraken. And with the pandemic, all bets are off. I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end, but I'd love to hear that call go out sometime. So yeah, now, like I said, we can be here for days, weeks, and months talking about shipwrecks with all those off the shore. If y'all like to see a couple, there are a couple I can get you to easily. The first is Laura Barr. She's at Coquina Beach, almost directly across from the Body Island Lighthouse. She's well marked, well preserved, short walk down the beach. The next one is at 2nd Street. Go get in the water a little ways off the shore. 2 separate ships and 2 separate times wrecked. And their bows ended up in the same place. And they formed a V a little ways off the shore. People snorkel and dive in so much that the diver down sign is permanently attached to the 2nd Street beach access. My favorite shipwreck is the mystery wreck. We have no idea what ship she was. She first showed up in the 1970s, and she got moved a couple of times before she found her home. Today she lives at the Town and Nags Head Municipal Complex at the 14.5-mile marker between the highways. Right there across from the big fire station at the blinking yellow light. Pull into their parking lot and go up a little bit on the left. There is a massive shipwreck. We're talking spine. The thing is huge. And the best part of all, it's a drive-by shipwreck. You don't have to get out of your car. That is my idea. I am fat and lazy and will own it all day long. Get in your car and you're driving and go, Bob, it's a shipwreck. Sure is. We'll keep going. Maybe we'll find us another. Yeah, I mean, they don't get any more convenient than that. I love the mystery wreck. Even so, even being a driver, she's huge and beautiful. Now, there is one ship I'd like to talk about in a little bit of detail tonight. Probably one of the most famous ships ever taken off the Carolina coast. She wasn't famous because of the ship that she was famous because of whom she carried. She carried Theodosia Barr. You can purchase a ticket of the Elizabeth II ship. Definitely worth it, at least in my opinion. Go climb Jockey's Ridge and walk the top like our pilots used to. Just keep in mind, it's usually 20 to 30 degrees hotter on top of that dune, so choose your time wisely. You can go and explore the grounds of the Lost Colony. If If you're not up for it tonight for whatever reason, like I said, you might be tired or hungry or cold or something. If you're not up for it tonight, definitely go back during the day. And during the day, you can go see the Elizabethan Gardens. You can go down to Ocracoke, check out Blackbeard's old stomping grounds. On your way south, don't forget to swing in and see the Cora tree. Look, touch, please don't take. Like I said, I don't want anything to happen to y'all. You've got some lighthouses you can go and explore, some shipwrecks you can go and find, and a really cool haunted movie theater you can come back and enjoy a good cheap movie in. So that gives you a few things to do here in Dare County other than eat, shop, and lay on the beach. Now, when you get to where you're going and you have a chance to actually look at any of the photos you took tonight, if you find something weird, strange, odd, unusual, please share it with us. You put it on our Facebook page or messenger it to us. We're not trying to steal your photos. You can put your name all over it. We just want people that want to come along to see what others might have seen. Now, I hope that you enjoyed yourself tonight. I enjoyed my time with y'all. You were a great sport letting me pick on you all night. Thank you so much. You played so nicely. If you are so inclined to go to either Yelp or to TripAdvisor and leave us a review, we would really appreciate that. Again, my name is Julia, and we're the OBX Ghost Tour or Walking Tour. Now, if you thought that this was stupid and hokey, and you can't believe you suffered through this whole thing, go ahead and write me a review anyway. Just say that you were in Myrtle Beach. And on that note, thank you so much for spending your time with me tonight. This has been a great tour tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.